Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm William Haas, and let's queer up USA View. Pentagon to strip Harvey Milk's name from a naval ship. During Pride Month, in a move being called political and deeply painful, the U.S. Department of Defense will strip Harvey Milk's name from a Navy ship during Pride Month. According to military.com, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered the renaming of the USNS Harvey Milk, the first military ship named after an openly gay person. A department official confirmed the timing is no accident, saying it aligns with the efforts to restore what Hegseth calls quote-unquote warrior culture. The official announcement is expected on June 13th. Launched in 2021 under President Biden, the USNS Harvey Milk honors a Navy veteran, a gay rights icon, a trailblazing politician. Milk, elected to San Francisco's Board of Supervisors in 1977, was assassinated the following year. His legacy, especially amongst the LGBTQ veterans and activists, is profound. This renaming is part of a broader effort. CBS News reports that ships honoring civil rights heroes such as Harriet Tubman, Thurgood Marshall, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Medgar Evers, Cesar Chavez, Harvey Milk, and other prominent Americans are also under review. Queer leaders are calling this a direct attack. Gay California State Senator Scott Wiener said, "This is absolutely shameful. Harvey Milk was a hero. He was a veteran who served our country. He died for our community. Now Trump and Hegseth are wiping it away due to straight, quote-unquote, bigotry." Stuart Milk, Harvey's nephew, said the family is heartbroken. He spent time aboard the recent ship and recalled the pride of every sailor, regardless of background, he said. Harvey Milk's legacy is certainly enhanced and celebrated by the U.S. Navy ship. However, his legacy will not be silenced or diminished by renaming of the naval ship. It's really sad. I mean, we have all these men and women that serve in our armed forces, and he's someone for them to look up to. And now they're just trying to, whitewash it all away from us and take it away from us, and that's really sad. I know, Jason, that's probably got to really affect you, because I know when I saw this, even though I didn't serve, my dad did it. This is a shame. This is not really fair. This is someone who we look up to in our community.
Yeah, it's literally someone who puts their life on the line for the country, and then the country comes back and is like, meh.
Yep.
Like, thank you for putting your life on the line, but you're not worth recognizing even the name on the ship. Just the other week we had the Fleet Week here in Fort Lauderdale.
Lots of seamen.
Yeah,
lots of seamen, and we went aboard the USS New York. And we saw pieces of 9/11 and how the naming of that vessel came about. So something for like 9/11, which catapulted me into the military, that was extremely meaningful for the folks who served with Harvey Milk, the family of Harvey Milk, the other veterans, any veteran who serves the Constitution and joined courageously and out because of how Harvey Milk was. This is an insult. And then, where does our military go from here as a whole?
Right.
If they can do this to a name of a ship from years ago, and then talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Harriet Tubman, like, what are we trying to do? It just goes back to that whole erasing history thing. And it's insulting, but it's also so numbing because he's doing it so often and so blatant. We can't shy away from it or be quiet about it, but it's tough. It's another tough kind of situation to look at and be like, is this real? Like, pinch me, wake me up.
It's so wild, like in the era of technology, the era of information, as we move forward in time, there's going to be so much more accessible to the next generation and the generation after that, and yet they're trying to erase so much from that. They can't scrub this from the history books.
Nope.
They really can't.
It happened.
It happened. It's there.
Oh my God.
People in the future are going to know about this, and they're going to be upset that it happened.
Right.
So it seems like their acts are so hateful, and yet there's no one in their camp who's like seeing the future of like, people are going to find out that we did this and realize it was a bad thing to do. No one's thinking that far in the future on that dumbass camp.
Yeah.
That dumbass camp is doing stuff now to make themselves look good now and feel good now. And they're not realizing that they're going to crumble in the future, hopefully very, very soon.
But it's like saying to people, go fight for our country, sacrifice your life. but protect everybody's freedom, but not your gay freedom.
Not your
You know,
great freedom.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's
Well, the
think
black
about
folk that
let-
also did it.
Let's think
Yeah.
about the trans folks in the military, all right? And like, oh, we're coming for you if you don't let us know where you're at, okay? Because they don't have us counted, right? And they don't know how many of us there are, right? God forbid that they're organized in that degree. But like you joined the military, like Jason, right? No offense, you're pseudo brainwashed to stand up for this country, to fight for this country, to lay down your life for this country, to that coincides with just life experiences, affects your whole entire family, and then because you're gay or you're trans, you're not even a being, you're not even a human.
But
you know,
it's not even a draft anymore. People have volunteered to do this, so they want their rights protected, and
they
you know,
deserve
that's
them.
what's scared about it, is that there's no draft, and people are volunteering. GLBT community is volunteering to defend our country, defend our rights, and we're slapping them in the face.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, it's a volunteer service.
Yeah.
Nobody forced me. Nobody gave me a number and said, you will join. This is your number, like other countries.
Right.
Literally, I volunteered to lay my life. I knew what I was getting into. And then, while I did not know that I was gay at the time, so serving under Don't Ask, Tell and Tell was a revelation for me. But I knew that going in. But yeah, you joined the military because of Harvey Milk, because of the Ruth Bader Ginsburgs. And now, yeah, it's just...
What bothers me the most about this story is that Pete Hegseth says, we're trying to restore warrior culture, right? And the irony of all of this is that a Donald Trump doesn't exist without a bunch of beta lapdog males around them that can't stand up to anything. It's like, we'll do whatever you say. To Donald Trump. So you obviously are projecting this, that you have no backbone, you have no spine, you have no courage, right? And then you look at somebody like Harvey Milk and you look at, Harriet Tubman. Don't you think that she was afraid that she was going to get hung, lynched for what she was doing? And I remember when I first came out and I went to some drag bars and stuff, and I was scared of drag queens, right? Because I was scared of like what they might bring you up on stage, they might expose you or something like that. Later on, as I became more comfortable with being gay, and I realized it was a courage issue, because in our kind of hyper heterosexual, male culture, it's like, anything that somebody thinks that you might be gay, anything that's really misogyny, anything that makes you kind of like a woman, is probably the kryptonite to any straight guy. Like, I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
So it's like getting over that. And when you can, like, those are the truest kind of warriors that are like, I don't care what you're going to say about me. I don't care what you're going to talk about. I'm going to do the right thing. And those are the biggest warriors in our community. So
I'm right.
F you.
F you. And let's be clear that you can paint over a name, but you can't erase the legacy. All right. That's it. Harvey stood for visibility, for truth, for pride. And we carry that forward with or without their freaking approval. All right. And shout out to Stuart Milk, the nephew of Harvey, for being just an incredible pillar and for everything that he does. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.